And Hammer, back to you with Typing of the Dead.
Right. Well, let's do this again, I guess. Yeah, cutting that to 5 again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back, Gil. So yeah, instead of being House of the Dead 2, where you shoot zombies with your light gun, instead you use your keyboard to type the words on their chest. And we're here on level 1, so the letters are going to be really, really short. These phrases are just like 2 letters long, very easy to type. And as the game progresses, we'll see the difficulty scale up a bit. And what's kind of interesting about this game as a speedrun is that, you might think, how does a light gun kind of like on a rails game manage to get like, faster or slower? One of the ways is that we're going to try to be using damage to manipulate how long the phrases are, and that's something that's going to be like playing out throughout the run. Another thing is items. You can see the hammer kick just shot a balloon head meat, which makes everyone have like big Donkey Kong heads, and that doesn't speed it up or anything, but some items later on are going to influence how quick the game is, and we'll cover those when we get to it. You can see that there's like this R here that was just score, so there's no point in shooting that, because if we get more score than we want to have, then we're going to get extra lives that we may not necessarily want in the score tally screen. But what's kind of interesting is we've got some tricks as well to kind of like avoid that as well. Nice skip, by the way. That guy who kind of like hangs out the window, he'll throw an axe if you're not quick enough. So by shooting that guy before he can even get the axe out, you skip that completely. So here's the first mission. Zombies will walk out at you, and you can see there's a timer on top saying that you have 30 seconds to like stay alive. But if you just stand there and let them hurt you, it'll end the mission prematurely. So we're not only ending the mission early, but we're also taking a hit there, which is going to scale the difficulty down just a little bit. So this giant headed monkey that jumps out, his words are a little bit shorter. Nice, another pretty hard to hit axe skip there. And then there's a tranquilizer, which will make the words a little bit shorter. And then that civilian who just got bonked on the head with a barrel, it's faster to do that because if you save her, she will get up and say thank you, and that wastes time. We're getting into the first boss here. This is Carl and Zeal. Their names are always kind of strange. Yeah, and there's nothing really special about them as a boss fight, but they do have slightly longer phrases, and their bubbles or whatever, their text bubbles are kind of like moving around the screen, I guess. Maybe to disorient you, but regardless, that's as complex as it gets for this boss. We're just gonna type them out, and that's the fight. So one call here is that in the top left, you can see that there's like a green meter that's about halfway filled up. That is the like combo meter, and underneath is the perfect, and it's set to 0. And as you type phrases without making any kind of typos, that'll increment and it'll fill up the green bar faster and faster. When it fills up all the way, then you'll get a 1-up. And that's actually worth manipulating because we want to have exactly as much HP as we intend to have. So if we type very well, we may get more 1-ups than we want. So it's actually beneficial to sort of, scuff some letters here and there. As soon as the boss's HP is gone, Hammer Kick will press Alt F2 to quit out to the main menu, and that skips the level transition, like score tally stuff, which is pretty beneficial for a couple of reasons. Not only does it skip all the cutscenes and all of the score telling and all that, it also resets the difficulty. So if you are deep into a level and you've kind of like accumulated a bunch of this scaling difficulty, it resets it back to like a lower level.
All right.
Now in this alleyway, we're going to have another mission here, and this one's pretty RNG dependent. This is one of the biggest kind of like RNG moments of the run, at least early on. And
Yay.
Nice, that is favorable. For him to jump out the window there, it saves about like 6 seconds compared to some other possible patterns. So good luck there.
Yep. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, somehow I missed the item somewhere. What's it at all?
That could have been a tranquilizer, yeah.
It's fine. Let's just say it wasn't.
Yeah. Sure. It was good luck manipulation, skipping what clearly was not. So this is an intentional hit here. We're setting up for a continue to be used. So as we turn this corner, a bat is going to fly into us, and a cat will eat it at the bottom left. And what's happening here is if we take the shortest, quickest hits possible, we're sort of optimizing the benefit that we get, right? Because it's the game gets a little bit easier when we take hits, but we don't want to just stand there and let enemies hit you. We're trying to find the fastest hits to take. So rather than these 3 zombies here who are pretty slow, for example, we'll let these like leeches jump at you instead. So the routing of the run is pretty much based around like where can you take like the easiest hits in order to like keep the phrases as short as possible. And I think probably one of the most common questions that people have about this game when speedrunning it is, are the words the same every time? And the answer to that is like absolutely not. There's a word bank that is just like super duper massive. And here, this is actually a pretty interesting section. Wow, nice. These words, a new one will appear like the absolute moment that the previous one is typed. A lot of zombies will be kind of like soft, like auto scrollers, where you're kind of like moving through the stage a little bit. But here, it's like as fast as you can type, they come on out. And these are sort of like mid-tier, like 2 medium word phrases. So they have their own pool compared to other stuff. We're gonna let her get hit because, again, she'll stand up and say thank you. We don't want that. But yeah, continuing on that point about like the word bank. The word bank is huge. There are just like literally tens of thousands of different words or different phrases. And they all have like, different sort of like sub pools where it's like, okay, this is the medium, this is the long stuff. So as you're playing the game, even if you're speedrunning it, it is really, really uncommon to see repeats or frequent repeats. That guy in the boat there, you might notice that Hammerkick was like holding on to the last letter. In that case, he didn't want to save that guy, but if you start typing early and just kind of like leave it linger, you're more likely to get a lower rank, which is just a little bit more score manipulation. We're going to do another Alt F2 at the end of this level, so the score doesn't really matter, but it's most important just to let that guy die. Okay, so
nice.
There was another deliberate hit there. Yeah, this has been really good execution of the route so far. Using a continue right before this boss here is pretty important because this boss, now he does have a gimmick unlike the first boss. His gimmick is that his chest can open and close, and you want to type while his chest is open. And you get kind of like a preview before his chest opens, and it lets you like really type really fast, as you can see. But this is something where if you use the
right, okay.
It happens. And that's kind of the point of using the continue right before the boss, is that you're trying to like really optimize how much of that like difficulty resetting that you get, because his phrases are a little bit shorter, and his chest will be open for longer.
Okay, second phase is very classic, so Thorn, if you have anything to say, feel free, you have some time.
Yes, so as a little bit ago, I made mention of a new incentive that opened up, and for anyone that's tuning in now, I just want to reiterate that we have the Van Diesel incentive for Buck Up and Drive. So, the Van Diesel is watching you. You cannot look away. You are filled with thoughts of racing, of speed, of family. Want to know what the heck what I'm talking about? Well, better donate to unlock the Van Diesel as a T-Trees vehicle during the Buck Up and Drive early on in day 3 of Prevent-A-Thon 5. So not as much time as I make it out to be. So make sure you donate and hit that incentive so that we can see what the Van Diesel is all about. All it needs is $60 to meet that incentive.
Awesome, thank you. So here in this level, there was this fellow on the boat, and he's very important to save. The reason being that if you don't save him, he will get munched and he can't open the water gate for you. And what happens is that actually is going to impact the next level as well, which is pretty notable in this route, because usually we'll quit out when we kill the boss, right? And in this case, we're actually going to go through the score tally screen so that we can go to a different route in the next level. And this is a pretty interesting area because these zombies will throw barrels at you. The barrels come in really fast, and when you use a credit, if you hit enter to continue your game, everyone on screen gets damaged. Nice drink, by the way. And so what that means is that if you specifically are getting hit by that exact barrel with that exact 1 HP, you'll really quickly shoot the other zombies that were like trying to throw the barrel at you. All right, there's another mission coming up here, and deliberately Hammer Kick is going to want to have 1 HP going into this boss, just so that we can have 1 HP in the next level, which again is something where if you were to Alt F2, it would give him 3 HP. So the whole thing is kind of routed out for that.
All right. Coming up, next boss, I'm going to be focusing and saying stuff out loud because this is a quiz, a tower. I have to guess the right answer on some very weird questions, so I will focus and just say the question out loud. This is how I work, so let's do this. Okay, 2 ends singing. Okay, which is a Greek god? Well, sometimes it's what I should know that in the break group muffins. Which in the 3 Little Pigs, yeah, was a bit weird. I wanted to make typos anyway because of the perfect blob. That's pretty much, yeah. A tasty beverage. Yep. Okay. I had some weird question in this one. I'm happy to not take the picture. Let's
I thought for sure ham juice was gonna be the answer.
I know.
I'll tell you.
Ham juice enjoyers in shambles right now. That was a really good first phase though, yeah. And the thing is, like, if you're not like a native English speaker, these can be pretty tough. Like some of them are actually kind of like trick questions, or sort of like rely on wordplay or puns to kind of trip you up. Nice. Okay, so second phase is pretty quick, and we're not going to Alt F2. Now this is going to be the score tally screen, and you can see that there's like an average and a number 1 on this kind of like score thermometer thing. And the idea is you want to stay outside of the top 10, because if you get top 10, you'll get an extra life, and we want to try to manage that. We want to try to minimize the unwanted health. So in this case, we're entering level 4 with 1 HP, specifically so that at this upcoming mission, we can lose our HP on the mission. So if you use a continue on a failed mission, it will skip the little fanfare at the end of it. Normally it'll be like, like you lost the mission. Using a continue actually like bypasses that, and it's faster. Additionally, we're going to try to like really max the difficulty here. Woo. Nice. Okay, I don't want to say anything. The vent guy is important. Yeah. If the vent guy gets pulled down the vent, you take an alternate path through the level, and it's quite a bit slower. It's like a minute slower. So, just wanted to, let that one go. So nice job. And as we're going through here now, you might notice that like the combo meter is getting like pretty close to full, and it's hard to sort of like deliberately fill it when you intend to. And at this point, like even if you get a typo on almost every single phrase, like it's probably still going to fill up at some point. However, that's not really important now because we're going to Alt F2 at the end of this fight. So again, the combo meter is kind of routed into the whole run holistically. So we're getting to the Coliseum now, and coming up is what I think is my favorite boss.
Yeah, same.
And it's the strength boss, and what his I guess gimmick, if you can call it that, is that he has 3 sort of long stories, I guess you're gonna call them that, of like 4 pretty long phrases each. And there's a lot of typing that's going to happen, and there's kind of a lot of RNG going on here because the bosses have a really huge word pool as well. So I'm kind of curious to see what we're going to get here.
Yep. Let's see. Whoa. Yeah, capitulation is an apartment by the way, so I'm not in caps lock for that.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting call that we haven't touched on yet, is that capital letters don't matter, and spaces don't matter. Punctuation does, though. So that lets you get some like pretty fast typing. And again, typos are not punished. If anything, they're almost kind of encouraged to a degree. Nice. Okay, so Alt F2ing out of there. And now we're going to the 5th chapter. And this one has some pretty interesting like gameplay aspects to it. The first one is on the right here. There's going to be this like garage door thing that opens, and Hammerkick is going to deliberately shoot the right zombie because he's got like a worm sort of loaded into him, and when you kill him, the worm pops out. So you want the worm to get like activated as you type the left zombie. That's going to be a pretty free hit to take. This barrel here, very important. Nice, good luck. Nice genre dictionary. Oh, this is a good one too. Very nice. So the genre dictionary takes the next like dozen or so phrases and gives them kind of like a, you know, a pattern, like a group of words, whereas they would otherwise be very random. And sometimes you get really, really lucky ones. I'd say that's one of the better ones I've seen. Otherwise, you'll get ones that are maybe like strawberries, blueberries, you know, and it'll be like berry types, or sometimes it'll be a little bit longer. Sometimes it'll be like the name of presidents, and those take a little bit longer to type. So that was a very, very fortunate genre dictionary.
Yep. So far, this is
So we're getting back into. Go ahead.
This is a very good one so far, by the way. This is like a sub 28 pace.
Yeah, this has been going really well. This here is the first kind of like boss refight. We've got Carl and Zeal once again, and they don't actually change anything about their fight. I guess at this point the phrases might be slightly longer, but the boss behaves very similarly. And there's going to be another refight of the Lizard Man from stage 2, and then we've kind of got some pretty straightforward gameplay up until the next like big boss. So maybe this would be a good time to read anything out that we might have on hand.
Absolutely. And while we appreciate every donation towards the Little Warriors, we also appreciate spreading the word of this worthy cause. So if you are on social media, you can also help out by sharing our social media posts and getting the word out about this event and Little Warriors. Type !! in chat to get the links to Prevent-A-Thon's social media. And also, come join our supportive community and find out when we are prepping for future events by joining our Discord. You can type ! Discord in chat to get an invitation link now.
Whee! Alright, this here's my favorite zombie. Yeah, you don't even kill him, he just drives into the wall and explodes. I love that guy. Yeah, this whole bridge is pretty nice for taking deliberate hits. You're sort of like forced to continue driving down the road, so you don't lose any time by taking hits from most of these. So we've got this refight of the second boss again, and yeah, he also, you know, no differences at all. And since we just used a credit like pretty recently, it's not really like we're hurting for like difficulty scaling to have this chest open for too long.
Yeah, but no, like I messed up the second one. I still was about to get it one cycle, so it's very easy.
Yeah, still got it.
You win. No, you don't.
So now from here, we're driving up to the Magician, who's the next boss. And this is where I guess like routing would maybe kind of diverge from a marathon attempt and like a PB attempt, because a PB attempt can afford to like fly real close to the sun and be really risky with continues. In this case, we're going to be slightly conservative, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess this run's going really well. I feel.
Yeah,
I honestly feel like you could just kind of go crazy with it. But yeah, there's a couple easy hits to take, and the idea here is that as we enter Magician, we want to have, 2 HP? So there's one more Worm Blaster on the left here. And yeah, entering the Magician fight with 2 HP is important, because we want to hit him 11 times take 2 hits and use a continue. I'll explain why afterwards, but hammer kick needs to like count and focus here, so I'm not going to
Yeah,
commentate.
counting will be done in French, by the way. I'll be counting up to 11 because I'm not allowed to make typos and I need to do a specific amount of hits. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's close. 5. Okay, whatever. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. Oh, what? Okay. It's whatever. Okay. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Not an issue at all. Okay.
Yeah, that was like very close to optimal. Yeah, so he's got 12 HP in that phase, and the idea is to hit him 11 times and then get hit on the 12th one and use the credit to trigger the 12th hit that takes you to the new phase. And getting hit on the 11th one is like extremely slightly slower. It's like really not a big difference at all. Really what we're trying to do is just make it so that when we enter the second phase that he's got like the difficulty scaled as low as possible, because he'll throw 3 small balls and then 1 big ball, and there's a lot of impact that you can get by using a credit right before this phase starts. So just getting hit on the 11th one is like hardly different at all.
Fact I can buy like donations.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a pretty long phase, especially if you do not reset the difficulty. So getting hit near the end of the first phase is really just the most important thing.
Okay. Do I want tough for some reason? Okay, whatever. I got some tough ones in there. It's okay, it's okay.
Yeah, some of these are, yeah. Nice one.
Okay.
Okay, so we can't use an Alt F2 here because you can't select Chapter 6 from the menu, so we have to go through the score tally screen again.
Yep. So from this point onwards, I will no longer be taking damage deliberately for setups. Is this top 10? Oh, it's 11. I mean, I'm
Nice.
I'm fine if I take HP anyway, because I'm not really doing any HP setups anymore from this point onward. It will be the case on the PP attempt though.
Yeah, so from here on out, there's maybe like what I guess like an extra spare credit or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's not too big of a deal to fret over HP at this point. From here on out, we'll just like play as fast as possible and just take whatever hits happen. There's going to be some like missions that we're going to take a hit on, but regardless. Something that's, I guess, kind of interesting is around this corner, there's an enemy that pops out of the elevator here, and he has got the longest text string, and he's got kind of like a little unique pool of text. So I'm kind of curious what you're going to get.
I got to perfect, lol.
Yeah, and those are phrases that like you're never going to see anywhere else. Just that guy has them, so they're always kind of peculiar.
Can I chime in just really quickly with a donation?
Sure.
Yes, that's a good time.
All right, we have a $15 donation from Mark Sinclair saying, I ain't got donation incentives. I got family. See, I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And those $15 went to getting one step closer towards the Van Diesel. So we're only $45 away from meeting that incentive.
Awesome. Thanks for donating.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right around the corner here, there's going to be one last RNG. You've had really good tranquilizer luck so far on this run. Let's see if it holds.
Nope.
Dang. I can't get them all, I guess. Because, yeah, your tranquilizer luck was nuts so far in this run. But, yeah, that was the last 50-50. Again, getting extra life there isn't, like, slower, but a tranquilizer would have been, I guess, marginally faster.
Alright, 5 letters down. Vague. That's very fight by the way. So again, we're going to get an important car part. A good vacation spot. That's ours is fine too though. Something with ape is a cold. Yep. Which can't fly far, turtles. Apparently. A best served cold. Yep. One has bones. Which is a good salad. Okay.
Nice one.
Cool. Cool.
I like watching Hammer Kick because I can tell that he reads from left to right for these, and I always read from right to left. And so I'll be looking at like the first text box on the right, and he's like already typing. He was like crushing it. He got good team left phrases there.
Back sitting me in the quiz. Which has already happened on a French event by the way.
Yeah.
It's fun.
All right, we got one more mission here. And
Yep.
you might have noticed that the combo meter just filled up, so he's got 4 HP instead of 3. And thankfully, totally fine to have as much HP as we want going into this last fight.
All right, since we're kind of nearing the end, I want to chime in one moment real quick because we had a $1 donation from Anonymous, and that is enough to push us to $1,400 raised.
Nice.
5.
Let's go. The $1 team.
Every dollar counts.
Hola.
Absolutely, and that $1 got us to 1,400, which I am so proud that we've been able to raise so much money just on these first 2 days alone.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks so much, Irvin, for donating. We're here in the last boss. This guy has, I think, 3 different kinds of attacks. He has 2 different ways of sending out balls.
Oh,
you didn't take a hit
okay.
from
Did you know
that?
that, by the way? Sometimes don't take damage for some reason.
Yeah.
I have no idea why, but you don't take damage there. It's weird.
Yeah. But yeah, he'll either send out multiple balls at once like this, he'll send out 3 of them one at a time, or he'll turn his hand into a sword and like fly towards you menacingly.
Yo, bro, please.
Yeah, and the 4 balls are definitely the hardest ones. And the slowest ones as well.
Yeah.
And then once he takes a couple hits, then he switches over into his like boss refight phase, where he will spawn one of the previous bosses to various degrees of difficulty. The dragon is not like too terrible. The bat is nice.
Oh no. Okay.
I mean, if you're
okay.
getting hit by the bat, it happens quick. Interesting phrase. Yeah, so the chainsaw guy is usually the hardest one, but yeah, that was very well handled. Oh, these bats are dangerous.
Oh, that's
Close.
unfortunate.
Nice.
Okay, good.
Okay, so now for the ending, he asks you 3 questions, and your answers determine the ending that you get. So there's 1 correct answer, I guess, and 2 incorrect answers, and you get an ending depending on if you got all 3 right, all 3 wrong, or a mix.
Time is coming up. And time.
What was the time there?
28.
Nice.
For me. That's very good.
Good run.
GG's.
GG. That was a sick run. But yeah, so now we're gonna see what the ending is. All 3 of them start the same way, and
It is not over yet.
we'll figure out what happens to Goldman.
Say, in time, a successor will come. Farewell, friends.
And oh,
No fart.
no fart.
Bungee.
Yay!
Oh, I'm not a fan of the bungee, if you ask me. The burp bros got their revenge.
Yeah. And now you can type in the credits. The zombies the Fortnite dance. You free them all. It's fun. But yeah, that was the typing of the dead. Well, big thanks for having me. It was tons of fun and a very good one too, so I'm very happy about this one. Thank you, Pitches, for being there. A pleasure again.
Yeah, it was great. That was an awesome run. So nice job.
It was a fantastic run. Again, ham juice enjoyers in shambles, but I digress. Do any of you have any final words you'd like to say before you sign off?
Well, typing games are fun. If you know to type fast and are interesting, feel free to check it out. Typing of that, by the way, is an abandonware game, so like it's free pretty much. So you can just download it on the internet on any abandonware site. Takes like 5 seconds to install if you're interested to check it out. It's a very fun casual game as well. Just playing it through as normal. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for having me once again.
All right, chat. Give it one more time for Hammer Kick on a really entertaining, really fun run of the typing of the dead. And with that, we will be going. We'll be taking a very quick break to officially close out day 2 of Prevent-A-Thon.